My name is Trish Hunter. I work here at Bristol Elder Services. I am the Director of Planning and Community Development. This is Bob Linscott from the LGBT Aging Project, and Bob and I have been working together for the last few months over LGBT needs in the Fall River area. Bristol services Fall River, Attleboro, and Taunton areas. We service 15 communities in those areas. We also do some work in the New Bedford area on certain programs. So that's what, when I say my area, that's what I'm thinking in my head. The LGBT Aging Project in Bristol have actually been partnering for, I think, almost 10 years now. They've done some in-service trainings for us about professionalism and being a more an open and affirming agency and how to better reach out to the elder population. And it's been a long time coming, a slow process, but we're finally getting there. So our next step was to hold an educational forum, which was a few weeks ago, and many of you were able to attend, and that was the Gen Silent film that was shown at White's. And I think we had a very positive reaction to that, and I'm very pleased. We had 150 people in attendance, a lot of professionals, but that was sort of the goal of that particular program too, is to help educate those who are working with elders about, the needs and the comfort levels and the, opening their eyes to maybe some different issues. This is sort of part two of that, which for us is really a smaller, more intimate conversation, maybe directly, hopefully, with the elders and maybe with the community partners who want to be able to better serve the LGBT elders in the area. And that's part of the survey, and that's part of what Bob's here to do to help facilitate that conversation. And I'm very glad he's here to do that.
Good. Well, so I just want to extend the same welcome for coming out at the end of the day and the end of a Monday. It's always a bit of a challenge, but so this step, as Tricia was saying, is an important step that all these agencies go through. So the LGBT Aging Project is a nonprofit, and we're based in Boston, and basically our job is to go around and work with the mainstream elder service providers so that they can become more welcoming and inclusive of the needs of LGBT older adults. So we have it's a consulting training program that will go in and work very closely with the agency, top down, from top management all the way down to direct care providers, through their marketing, through all their materials. And if our work just ended there, and then Trish went up and said, okay, we're done, and we slapped a rainbow sticker up on the door saying, come on in, all you LGBT elder adults, they'd be waiting a long time for people to come through. And that is just because of this generation of older LGBT adults, of what they've gone through in their lives. They've gone through some real challenges and situations. So there is a general distrust of mainstream organizations. So that's where we are all taking a part in this next phase today. And this is, I kind of joked when we met a couple months ago, in the gay community you talk about, coming out, the coming out process or whatever. And this, the Gen Silent piece and tonight is really Bristol's coming out, because they're taking this step, very public step out into the larger community, saying, this is our stand, this is who we are. We care about every single older adult in our catchment area. And as we talked about, and as Lisa did in the training, you have to be open to backlash, because there's undoubtedly, you come into these situations where people are like, they're shocked, why are you doing this, and whatever. So, but this is a very public stand, and we're all taking part in that tonight. And it goes back to that old saying, it takes a village. So tonight's gathering is not just about pulling together the LGBT older adults in Bristol's catchment area, but it's community leaders, it's allies, it's all people together. There are dozens of people that were afraid to come out, that we will encounter in our own day-to-day life, passings and connections, whatever like that we can take this information back and pass that on. So these community conversations or community forums are really just an opportunity for us to engage conversation around this, to help Bristol be better at it, and really put a voice, specific voice from from the people in this area as to what they want. If it was just, up to like Aging Project or whatever, and say, okay, well, we need to do certain LGBT programs for LGBT older adults, and I would say, oh, well, they want a ping pong tournament. Oh, I'm sure that's going to be so popular because it's popular in Boston. So, of course, how would we know that people out here want a ping pong, LGBT older adult ping pong tournament? So that's why, and hence we do, these things here to get a really kind of accurate picture. So we will do this here. These guys are going to be sick of hearing me. They already heard me once today. So these surveys are really important because, and I hopefully you will hold on to them right up until the very end, because the conversation may jog your memory, or may for ideas or thoughts for you to put down here that you can add, even if you don't want to feel comfortable putting your hand up and sharing something. This is a great document. So and we set it up so that there's double-sided, right, on this?
Yes.
Yeah. So one of the pages can be as completely anonymous as possible. So you can just get the as much as it gives us a sense of who's here and some basic demographics, but also kind of programs. And then if there's other suggestions, things you want, questions that should have been asked here, put that on here. This second page is for us to be able to stay in contact, so that if you want to volunteer, if you're an ally that wants to lend a hand with any of these things, that there'll be a name and a way to follow up. So anyway, how tonight's is going to look, there's several goals here for these community conversations and community forums. One is for the older LGBT adults in this community to actually begin to build community. A lot of times what we're seeing is people are making this ongoing pilgrimage, trying to get into the more urban areas, to connect with other LGBT folks, and that's just not a reality, especially as we age. The thought of driving into Boston or driving somewhere is not realistic, and it shouldn't be. And so for a lot of times, people don't even have a sense of who is in their own town. When we did the same conversation in Sharon with HESCO and the Sharon Council on Aging, and we went around and talked about people's what brought them here, what they hope to get out of it. One of the women, and this was Sarah, who said, well, I'm here because, she said the same thing. I am so tired of driving into Boston and Roslindale for anything, for LGBT. She said, I want to meet someone in my own area. And she was from that town, from Sharon. As it started to go around, 2 people later, she said, hi, I'm from Sharon. I live 2 streets away from you. They had never met. So these are great. These are the beginning, and this is just the very first conversation. Like this is so we're not going to be able to get everything, and obviously there's not everybody is here today, but this is just the beginning of many of these conversations. So the first part is to begin to facilitate building community with the LGBT older adults in this catchment area. And then the second goal is to really to begin to build some connections and relationship with Bristol Elder Services, and that is for LGBT older adults and for allies, community members. So people that are allies, you guys are essential to this process, because you go back out there and you go back out to your faith communities and to your social communities, and you know that this is a resource, and you know their stand, and you know that they are here for these. So every time you encounter other LGBT older adults, you can just funnel them back and say, do you know that these folks are here, and do you know the services that they provide? So that's the second goal, is to really kind of facilitate these connections. The third goal is this right here, to get your specific ideas, concerns, wish lists, things like that, so that we can take this back and then I can take this and generate for Bristol a real snapshot of what the community begins to, based just on this little sample here, and hopefully we'll be able to work on getting this online to get it to more, and it already is perfect. And then we can give you copies for anyone that that's not here that can want to fill this out, mail them back. Then you know, I can get a real snapshot back to Trish and say, here is what the people in your area look like, and here are the types of things that they want, the services that they need, what are the service gaps that they are aware of, and what are the barriers. And then lastly, this is kind of an introduction for many of you here to hearing about you know, the Elder Service Program and what services does Bristol begin to, you know, what's out there, you know, for older adults in this community. So that gives an opportunity for Trish to speak about the services that Bristol provides. So I'm going to stop for a second and just kind of go around, and what I would like to just hear is as we begin to introduce each other, is just your name and the town you're from, and what do you hope to get out? Is there anything that you hope to get out of tonight's discussion?